So we've established that, thank goodness, we're not firing the IT department when we move to cloud technologies. But things are going to change in the organization and certainly in our IT department. So let's take a look at those organizational requirements that are so critical for a successful cloud adoption. The first thing that needs to happen is the organization needs to become quote unquote expert in cloud technologies. They need to really understand the various as a service options that exist, and they need to understand the various deployment models. I mean, clearly one decision would be, are they going public or are they going private with the cloud technologies that they're going to adopt? But the as a service can be complex. They need to understand the ins and outs of the benefits and potential drawbacks of software as a service, infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, and of course, X as a service. The organization also needs to be ready for a shared infrastructure approach. This is something that isn't all that common for many organizations out there. Maybe you have a business that's never really engaged in outsourcing of any kind. Now, not only are they engaging in a form of outsourcing, but they are not going to own all of the equipment and even the infrastructure that that equipment is stored in. So this is a new paradigm they need to be ready to adopt. When it comes to costs, we want to definitely make sure there are no surprises. Surprises in cost do happen when it comes to cloud technologies. I can recall my early workings with Amazon Web Services, getting in, being blown away by the relational database services that exist, spinning up this killer database, and then being charged hundreds of dollars at the end of the month for that database once my free tier had expired. This is a simple example, but we need to make sure that we're using the tools that our cloud provider gives us to carefully monitor and even set alerts when it comes to costs. For many businesses, they're going to not be all that accustomed to provisioning services for the cloud. There may be in the old monolithic server type environment, so they think about provisioning servers, not services, and this is a big paradigm shift that the organization needs to be ready for. Remember, a theme of this course is that we don't run around telling businesses to adopt cloud technologies without a valid business reason for doing so. I know the technologies are cool, but we don't implement them just because they're cool and hip. And when it comes to applications, as we discussed, a service-oriented architecture might be new to an organization, and that's going to present challenges for them as they're designing their cloud services. Now, if the organization is going with public cloud, one of the key ingredients we know that exists is the service level agreement. They need to know intimately, the IT department for sure needs to know what's in that service level agreement. And careful monitoring of the cloud technologies must go on to make sure that those SLAs are honored. Now, IT organizations are used to monitoring and managing equipment. That's not the issue. But when we go to cloud, especially public cloud, that monitoring and management may look very different to the IT department. There'll be new tools, new technologies that they need to use so that they can ensure performance is meeting expectations. When it comes to security, we know that it's not like going to be a bad thing for cloud. We just know that it's going to be different. That's the main thing. Many times, IT organizations are totally not used to the concept of a shared responsibility model. They're used to being responsible for everything involving security. So they need to embrace this different security paradigm and be ready to respond to potential security problems and breaches with the new tool set and the new aspects of their responsibility that they have with mainly public cloud. When we are doing private cloud, the security concerns are different. So you may have heard the expression, the more things change, the more they remain the same. Well, certainly some aspects of our organization in the IT department do remain the same, and there's many great benefits that we can gain from cloud technologies, but understand, there are going to be some key differences as we've outlined in this nugget for the organization. I hope you found this informative, and I'd like to thank you for viewing.